I'd like to welcome to the show Gary Shea of Alcatrazz. How's it going, Gary?
Hey, Doc, how you doing? Hey, everybody.
Hey, let's go back to New England, back to the beginning, pretty much. New England has a lot of history in the rock scene that a lot of people don't know. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, we go back to the mid-'70s. In the late '70s, the four of us had been in a different band. We decided to break that up and just concentrate on our own music. We spent 2.5 years in a small house in the woods rehearsing every day for 2.5 years. And we recording demos down in Philadelphia. We had a chance to do 16-track demos, which is a big deal back in those days. And the third demo we did caught the ear of a lot of people. And one of which was Rick Aliberti, who worked for Bill Coyne, who manages Kiss. Bill became our manager, and we played for 6 record company presidents in our little place in the woods. Clive Davis came to our house, Al Corey from RSL Records, Chris Wright from Chrysalis Records, flew from New York. The top of the line record guys hear us do it. They loved our tape, loved the music. Thought we couldn't pull it off live. When they saw us live, they went, "Damn, you guys are getting better live. It's better live." And we said, "Yeah, the tape doesn't really pick that up, but a lot of singing, a lot of playing." And we signed into Infinity Records, which was new cut at the time, through RCA, and off we went. And we our first tour in 1979, we toured during AC/DC. We did 20 shows with Kiss to do a Dynasty tour.
Right. Well, what a lot of people don't know either is Paul Stanley produced that first album.
Right. We were thinking of producers, and we had contacted Brian May from Queen. And he said he liked it a lot. If he had time, he'd try and do something for us. And of course, he didn't have time. But he drove across London one day and he put our demo tape in the mailbox of Michael Stone, who was their engineer. And Mike did their jazz album. He did the engineering for all that Bohemian Rhapsody stuff, all the Queen albums, working for Roy Thomas Baker. And we got to New York City to Bill's office, and Michael was working on some Kiss tracks.
Right.
And it was suggested, would we be opposed to having Paul Stanley produce the band along with Mike Stone being the engineer? And we thought that's really cool because we don't really need a producer. We had the music very together. Nothing had to be rearranged or rewritten or anything else like that. All we had to do was go out to LA, New York, and London and recreate it on 24-track. So we did. And Paul was like a great coach. And even though he never produced a band before, he'd been in a lot of recording studios doing Kiss albums. Right. He knew what he was doing. So he became like a fifth member of the band. And great coach, work with us, great takes, try this again, try that again, getting the best performances out of everybody, which we did. Like I said, we recorded the music in Los Angeles. We're out there for a couple of months.
Right.
And then Christmas time came along. We went to Electric Ladyland Studios in New York City, did the vocals. Then went to Trident Studios in London and mixed it there in Abbey Road Studios. Record came out and kaboom, we're on the Kiss tour.
Right.
So we're playing Madison Square Garden and we're playing home games with Kiss in New York City. That's a good
right. And, Paul Stanley actually sings on one of the songs on that.
Yeah, he sings on our song, "Don't Ever Want to Lose You." He sings at the end of every verse. It says, "Lose you, walk through the door." And you can hear his distinct voice, and there's a 4 of us plus he's the 5th voice. And he says, "It's going to be a hit. You guys, you got to help me sing the song. You got to help me sing the song." And I said, "Okay, go for it." So it's pretty cool. Yeah, he's singing on that song, "Don't Want to Lose You," which made the top 30 back in 1979.
Right.
And we kept going.
And you went on to do Alcatrazz.
Well, no, we did 2 more new albums. Our company fell apart, unfortunately, for everybody. And NCA came along and said out of the 40 bands, if they were acquired, we had to keep 4 of them. We were one of the 4. And he went to Los Angeles to talk to them. In the meantime, Electric Records, who had been in the running for the first album, was back at it again and said they thought we were the American Queen. They wanted us really bad.
Right.
And they gave us a deal we couldn't refuse. So we decided not to go with MCA, to go to Elektra. It took a year in court to do that. We finally got back on the road, put the second record out. They released a launch single right in the middle of the whole New Wave explosion with Elvis Costello and Pretenders. Released this big opus and 2 keyboard players and synthesizers and everything with dinosaurs and aliens. And then for a third album, Todd Runner, which came out great, had a great time working with Todd. We're all singers and dance fans. And it's really cool to be working in his house, which is really cool. And he plays guitar in a song that we thought would be a follow-up to Life on Leisure. In the meantime, we wrote a song called DDT, which stood for Dirty Dream Tonight. And the lyric was kind of just a fun rock and roll song, you know, be my dirty dream tonight, you're the kind of girl I like, blah, blah, blah. Right. That was pretty funny. And they sent off to the office in L.A., and they said, oh, the people in L.A. are dancing on the desks here in Los Angeles Boulevard. They just love this. This is a hit. This is a hit. So they put that as a single, and every female program director and music director in America said we're male chauvinist pigs and refused to play this out. And Electric dropped this off me. So now I got no record deal. Thank you.
Yeah.
We played about 200 shows at that point. And John, a guitar player, quit the band for other reasons.
Right.
And we put out the word for more guitar players. And Gene Simmons running us up. So they had a guy in LA who was really good, great guitar player, songwriter, singer, but he's too short to be Kiss. We could have him.
Yeah.
So he sent us a demo tape with a guy named Vinny Casano from Connecticut, where I'm from. We grew up 30 miles from each other, the same age, but I never met. And he came to Boston and played our stuff, sounded pretty good. And we surprised him. We learned his demo tape and played it for him. We couldn't believe it. And he said, there's nobody like you guys in LA. What are you going to do? So let's make a hold of the band. I'll go to LA, start a hold of the band, right? Which we did. And it lasted about a month and a half. At that point, Kiss asked him to join the band full time, become Vanny Vincent. So that was great for him.
Right.
Yeah, that's so great for June and I. So he and I decided to stay in LA and play hardball, see what happens. And another 6 months went by or so. I had a phone call from Andy Truman, who had managed Robert Palmer and the Bay City Rollers, worked for Jethro Tull, Don Arden, and all these people. The said his neighbor, Graham Bonnet, was looking to put a band together.
Right.
So he asked if I knew a keyboard player. And I said, yeah, I know Jimmy. So the 4 of us met at the Hyatt Hotel in Sunset one Sunday morning, got plowed at the bar. We walked out sideways at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're putting together, we want to put a group together like Michael Schenker, like Rainbow, European sounding rock band, as opposed to a boogie band or anything else, not a jazz band, not a country music band. And we auditioned different drummers, went through the guitar player had mine. It could have made it. So we had to find another guitar player. We auditioned Lawrence Jubard from Paul McCartney's band. Great guitar player, great guy. But he was the right kind of guy. He's more of a laid back guy. The first thing he said was, can you turn it down? I said, I don't want to do that. This may not work out for everyone concerned. The next day we played with a young guitar player that had recommended to us Ingrid Malmsteen from the band's theater in LA.
Yeah.
And he worked out great. He was the young Richie Blackmore, the heir apparent. Same clothes, same Gilbert Lute, same jewelry. And he played that stuff backwards. I mean, this was really, really good at it.
Right.
So they became our guitarist. So we did the first album, No Pro from Rock and Roll. I named the group Alcatrazz. And it was a group. It wasn't the Graham Bot band or anything like that. It was a group because Graham is not big on being a leader of a band. He just wants to be the band that's singing.
Right.
Go home. So we worked the thing for the 1 hour, toured Japan, toured America. And there was a little bit of friction between Graham and Ingrid. Ingrid was getting a lot of attention, and Graham was kind of jealous of that. And we decided to change guitar players for the next record. And we got Steve Vai from Frank Zappa's band. And we did a record with Steve for we moved to Capitol Records. And we hired Eddie Kramer, did all the Jimi Hendrix records, designed in the studio, worked for Led Zeppelin, Stones, everybody know.
Right.
Did that record. Our manager kind of fell down on a sword and was nowhere to be seen. And we're having a hard time with that. And all of a sudden, Dave Lee Roth came along to have a new band. Out of all the guitar players on the earth he could be in his band, he picks our guy. So now we lose Steve to the new David Lee Roth band. We lost Vinny to Kiss, Steve to David Lee Roth. It's like, we could pick good guitar players.
Right.
So we did a third album, Danny Johnson, who had done with Rod Stewart's band and Rick Danner. And then at the end of 1980 or so, that kind of came to close. Right. With times changing and things merging, that came to close. And about 8 years ago, we decided to get back together again as Alcatrazz, which we've been doing. And now we're going up to our fourth new studio album in the 21st century. Our 7th studio album. And group's been doing great. And touring the world, making records and having a great time.
Right. And now you have Giles Lavery on vocals.
Yes,
yeah, Joe Stump on guitar, which I think Giles' vocals are just absolutely phenomenal.
And Giles nails it.
And the man of many hats, actually. Yeah. And then you have Joe Stump on guitar, which I've seen him play live.
Right.
That man is not from this planet.
Joe is the emperor of the shred.
So, and you guys have an album coming out called Prior Convictions, which is reworked to some classic.
Yeah. Prior Convictions, a few old songs that we just reworked. Joe's playing guitar on them. Giles is singing the vocals.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun to do. It's just something to do. In the meantime, between being on the road and going back on the studio end of this year for the new record. So that's coming out, I think, next week.
Oh, okay, cool.
Raveworks Records.
Yeah.
Previous Convictions.
Yeah. You also have a book out called No Bass, No Party. And I have started reading it. And I like the way it starts. I mean, from chapter 1, it's like, it just grabs you. Because it's from the beginning of Gary Shea.
Right. Day one.
From day one, exactly. And can you tell us about the book?
Yeah, I was approached by a publishing company, Books We Love Music in Calgary, Canada. They want to do a series of musicians talking about being in the music business, not a tell-all book of parties and skullduggery, being in the music business. So I wrote my book, which is No Parole from Rock and Roll. And it's about being in the music business from high school days until now. And all the contracts and the publishing deals, managers, and all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that is the music business. Right. And music business is 85% business and about 50% talent. You can be the best guy in the world, but if you're not in the business part of it, you're not going to discover it or go for it. You just can't sit in your room. A lot of people say they think they sit in their room and record things, and then their parents' bedroom, and they'll be famous tomorrow morning. Right. It doesn't work like that. You gotta get out and make yourself seen and move around, connect and play live. I mean, you to be good at live groups to play live. Gotta go up to the bars, they cover songs, do whatever you gotta do. Right. Work on your own music, the folks that, click. So the book is about that. It's all the way from the beginning to now.
And definitely from the beginning. You have to read the book. If you guys get a chance, go check it out. Go check it out. It grabbed me from page 1. And I'm reading it. I'm up to like chapter 3 or 4. So,
great. It's doing great. I'm number 1 on the publisher's list. It's doing great. Amazon. I got a whole bunch of 5-star reviews. So I think if you buy it, you'll like it.
Right.
I'm trying to make it interesting. It's for me. It's like we're sitting around talking, and I don't talk down to people or talk about people. It's just people that I met in some of the crazy places I wound up in my life. Who knew that was going to happen?
Right.
Who walked into the door and this guy walked in the door.
So what's next for Alcatrazz? Are you guys working on a new album for release in the future here?
There's a new album in the works right now, writing-wise. And hopefully it'll come out beginning next year, 2026, next January or February. There's some live shows booked in the end of November,
right,
in Scandinavia and Europe. Could do Sweden, Finland, Norway, Denmark. The usual suspects, Belgium, France, Germany. It's about right now close to 15, 20 shows booked.
Yeah. Let me ask you one more question, Gary, and I'll let you go. What do you have any advice for upcoming bass players?
Yeah, I'd say learn as much as you can about music. Learn as much theory as you can. Take lessons if you can. And just know the instrument really well. Be able to play different styles so you can go and play with somebody I met some guys. I went playing country music at one point in LA and did a record with some guys through the people at KMET in Los Angeles was a heavy metal station.
Right.
And it worked out great. But I was able to play that kind of music because I had worked at that.
Right.
So play different styles and then focus on what you want to be. You want to be a rock bass player. I want to be jazz. You want to be a funk guy. I want to be a funk guy and do all the funk.
Right.
Can't really do all of them together. That's a mismatch. But I'd say you do that and be a supportive guy. Play to the song. Don't try and be Mr. Solo on bass. The bass is the bass. It's the basic heartbeat of the song. You got to keep that going. If you're noodling around, you're all crazy stuff. You're losing it.
Right.
So keep that in mind.
And read the book, No Bass, No Party. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Never take no for an answer.
That's right. All right, Gary. Hey, thanks for taking the time out coming on the Metal Shop, man. I greatly appreciate it. And looking forward to, Prior Convictions coming out and then the new one for Alcatrazz coming out next year.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
All right.
See you soon.